Hi, I'm Nicole Weaver.
Hi, I'm Mary Grace Folwell.
About 5 years ago, I was sitting at my desk and I received a text from Google telling me it was time to leave for my dinner date. I had not asked for this text, but Google had figured it out from my calendar invitation, from my location, and from the current traffic conditions. My first reaction was, my, that's useful. And my second, about 10 seconds later, was, that is really creepy. This is the world we live in. We have tremendous services available to us, but the price is often giving up control of our personal data. This map shows every place that I've used Google Maps since 2009, and the inset shows that Google reads my mail in order to suggest responses. I didn't ask for either of these services, it just started happening.
Your face can be recorded, analyzed, and stored without your consent. These databases can be searched by law enforcement without a warrant, but facial recognition is not 100% accurate, and it does better on white males than other groups. Smart speakers are becoming widespread. They have to listen to everything you say in order to hear the wake-up word. Even though they don't currently record everything, the companies could change the privacy policy. And would you read it if they did?
Sometimes our data is collected by virtue of somebody else's decision. For example, if somebody decides to have their DNA tested, then part of your DNA could be out there as well. And we all know how easy it is to be snapped and tagged in somebody else's social media photograph. It's tempting to think, well, I have nothing to hide, but my question is, why does a United actually need access to my camera? 7 out of 10 apps share information with other apps for commercial purposes.
There's a wide range of data that's readily available for purchase, and all you need is a name, email, and address. And most of these attributes are considered likelihood models based on all kinds of data shared from different purposes. The fact is, data can be combined in ways you've never imagined in order to decide whether a company wants you as a customer, and it may not be in your interest. For the most part, there are no protection against unfair or inaccurate profiling for commercial purposes.
In America, the onus is on the consumer to research and keep up with the current privacy policies of where their data resides. Often just using the service implies consent to the current terms and conditions, whether or not you know what they are. This is one really scary example. It's Airbnb. This company collects a copy of your government-issued ID, and you have to agree that they cannot guarantee that that will be protected.
In Europe, there's a fundamentally different approach. From the 1980s, there have been laws requiring corporations to disclose all data held and to correct and delete data upon request by individuals. There's actually a right to be forgotten in the EU. And a major update called GDPR comes into effect in May and strengthens this right to be forgotten and the requirement to disclose data breaches. Failure to comply exposes corporations to a penalty of 2% of their total gross global revenue.
The Chinese government is taking steps to profile its entire population. They're setting up a social credit score system where financial, behavioral, and relationship data is captured and may affect your access to travel visas and credit.
In 1787 in the US, the concept of privacy related mostly to this idea of physical spaces and protecting our homes. In the US, today, there is no universal legal protection of personal data. When the OECD was drafting the privacy standards that became the law in the EU, the US said, no thank you. Laws do exist in the US governing specific data, for example, personal health data, and uses of that data, but legal protections in the US are fragmented.
The use of collected information is being tested in this key case where a man was convicted of a string of thefts based on location data from his phone that was obtained without a warrant. We should know the result this year.
So these companies collectively spent almost $50 million in lobbying in 2017. Their data is their raw material, and our attention is their product.
Personal data is hugely profitable, and in the US, it's mostly controlled by corporations. Our government and our culture accepts the collection and use of personal data for profit, and our laws reflect this. So what does it all mean? Well, we don't know, but we think that people should think about this and understand the profit motive that's behind a lot of this, and maybe once in a while read the privacy policy.